everyone. I'm your host, Bryce Dolan, and this is the Top Human Rights Organization Review. Now, recently in the past, we've talked about some countries in the United Nations that caused some controversy. More specifically, countries like Saudi Arabia. Well, according to UN Watch, recently Saudi Arabia has been elected to the Women's Rights Commission, and this is causing some backlash with Saudi Arabia's past violations of human rights and women's rights. So UN Watch condemns the United Nations election of Saudi Arabia to the Women's Rights Council. Watch the UN Watch Executive Director Hillel Newer's reaction to this absurd election.
Something say for the record. This should be headlined, "You got to be kidding," or maybe even "Seriously?" I'm talking about the weird news from the UN. Saudi Arabia, the epicenter of the war on women, has been elected to the UN Commission on the Status of Women. One reaction to this news was this quote from the UN Watch Executive Director saying, "Electing Saudi Arabia to protect women's rights is like making an arsonist into the town fire chief." Now, it's shocking that Saudi Arabia would be put on the Women's Commission. In Saudi Arabia, they won't even let women drive. In fact, this woman dared to drive and got arrested. Nope, can't drive there. But that is the tip of the iceberg, and I've seen it with my own eyes. When I traveled to Saudi Arabia several years ago with former First Lady Laura Bush, think about this. If a woman in Saudi Arabia detects something suspicious and wants a cancer screening, she must first persuade her husband to drive her. And he might not. Not all men will. And if she's not married, she needs to go get her father or brother to drive her. But that's not all. No one can touch her for a mammogram unless she has her husband's permission to be touched. That permission does not always happen, but even if permission is granted for a mammogram, the permission may stop there. She can't have a biopsy without her husband's permission, and she may not even get that. During our trip, the First Lady met with women, some who sadly were very sick, some did not get permission, and of course there were others long gone, having never gotten permission from a male in the first place, for screening and treatment. So in a secret vote, yes, secret, putting Saudi Arabia on the status of a woman commission is appalling. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, it's a top U.S. ally.
Now, if you would like to take a look at this story on the UN Watch website, you can find it by clicking on the link I provided for you below in the description. I want to thank you for watching the Top Human Rights Organization Review. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give our Facebook pages a like, and follow us on Twitter. But that does it for the show today. I was your host, Bryce Dolan.